What's brackin'? What's brackin'? What's brackin'? Look at that woman right behind me, boy. Make sure your boy's looking fresh. Looking fresh. It's Friday. We in Southern California. SoCal. Just got off the slave. I'm free. Nigga, I'm free. I'm free. For only 2 days. For only 2 fucking days. I'm free. Man, these Hispanics out here is aggressive, mad, crazy. Some crazy driving motherfuckers, man. They big fat torta eating motherfuckers. Nah, I'm just talking shit. I'm about to go. My fat ass about to go eat something too right now. Cause I'm a gordo. I'm el gordo. I try to stay in shape, but I am el gordo. El gordo. Call me el gordo, y'all. I'm trying to stay in shape, y'all. But sometimes I have to eat some comfort food. But I'm gonna go walk tonight with my family. Let's see what we gonna eat, y'all. What's good? What's good? Appreciate the light. Just ordering some of this unhealthy shit. But this is what you call comfort food. This is what y'all call comfort food, man. So I'm ordering some of this unhealthy stuff. Let me see what they got. Let me start ordering. Yeah, cancel my order. Let's do it. Take out. Burritos. God damn it. No, I don't want that. I don't eat meat. Hold on, y'all. Bear with your brother. I'm about to drop some game on y'all. Well, I'm just having some comfort food right quick. They switched the menu around. Rub the Taco Bell. Do it. Rob the evil Taco Bell. No, I'm not gonna do that, man. I can't do that. I had to stop. I can't do that. It's not good. I'm ordering my comfort food right now. This is comfort food. I'm gonna add some onions. It's a cheesy bean. It's no meat. I don't do meat. Add that to order. And then, should I get a dessert, y'all? I think I'll get a dessert. Let me see. Should I get a dessert? Fat ass. I'm a fat ass. I'm a fat ass, y'all. I'm a fat ass. I only do this one time out of the week. I don't do this no other times but on Friday. So this is my guilty pleasure for Friday. All right. What am I doing? What I want? I want sweets. All right. This is my guilty. Let me get some of them cinnamon twists. There you go. That's it. No more. No mas. No mas. Now I'm gonna let y'all on a little secret. Since I'm in Southern California, I'm in Southern California. As y'all can see, I am a black male. There's a lot of hostility towards black males in Southern California. I'm just gonna keep it honest. So if you in Southern California and you visiting as a black male, I'm gonna show y'all what to do to make sure they don't mess with your food, because they could just mess with your food because you are black. I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna let y'all in on a little trick. Watch this. Watch this, y'all. Look at that. This is what you do. Look at that. Look at that. Y'all watching that? Look at that. No. Put Maria Martinez. Look at that. Maria Martinez. That's how you prevent them from messing with your food. Because if you don't put a Latina or Latino name, they might say that mayate. Get that mayate. Get that mayate. Spit in that mayate food. Yeah. That's how y'all do that. So, oh shit. So if y'all in Southern California, if you're visiting Southern California and you go into any fast food restaurant and you happen to be Black American, there's a lot of hostility in Southern California towards Black Americans. I don't know why. I don't know the history, but it is. And Southern California is 70 to 60% Hispanic. They work in a majority of the fast food restaurants. So if you don't want to mess with your food, I suggest you use a Hispanic sounding name. Maria, Hector, Jose, Jesus, Mirabella, Isabella, Lupe, Guadalupe. They won't mess with your food. That's how you do that. But that ain't the subject of this video, y'all. I want to talk about. Have you guys ever heard the saying? You can't miss what you never had. You can't miss what you never had. What does that mean? You can lust for things that you never had. You can lust for things that you never had. You can want things that you never had, but you can't miss what you never had. Hold on one second, y'all. Okay. And why you can't miss what you never had? You can't miss what you never had because you never had it. That's the simple thing, right? Let's say you never had $1 million. You never been a multi-millionaire. Well, you can't miss the lifestyle of a multi-millionaire because you have never been a multi-millionaire yourself. Yes. Thank you. All right, good I tell? You have never been a multi-millionaire yourself, so you can't miss being a multi-millionaire because you've never been a multi-millionaire. You dig? Well, you just got hired right there. So, how can you miss being a multi-millionaire if you never were a multi-millionaire, never been a multi-millionaire? You can't miss the lifestyle of a multi-millionaire, right? Because you never had it. You can't, if you're a heterosexual male and you like beautiful women, and you might have a desire for a particular woman or a particular type of crush that you may have. But if you never had her, you cannot miss not having her. You may have a regret. You may feel, sad that you never, had this woman that you had a crush on, but you can't miss her because you never had her. What am I getting at? What am I getting at? If you never had freedom, if you never had true freedom in this country called United States of America, you cannot miss what it feels like to have true freedom. This is why when you have people that actually had the experience of having true freedom, and what does true freedom mean? It's relative. Everyone, to every individual, it is relative, right? But in this society, in order to survive, you have to work a 9 to 5, right? Most of us, if we don't get some type of inheritance, if we don't win the lottery, who are you talking to? I'm talking to everybody. Everybody that this video might resonate with. And whether you tap in on the live or whether you tap in on the restream, it don't matter. But I'm talking. In this country, if you don't come from a wealthy family, if you don't inherit some type of wealth, if you don't get lucky and win the lottery, or if you don't come up with some master super idea that gets you spontaneous wealth or whatever, some type of investment, you got to work a 9 to 5. Or if you ain't got no hustle to you, if you never been self-made, you don't have no hustle. Let me get some water. Y'all. It's kind of hot out here. Some water. It's kind of hot. But you have to work a 9 to 5. You have to work a 9 to 5. You have to work at some dead-end job, more than likely. You may have went to college, got a degree that you can't use. So you have to work some 9 to 5 jobs, some dead-end job, because that's how you survive in this capitalistic society. Working a 9 to 5 job to someone who has at one time been free. What do I mean by being free? Meaning that you get to call the shots. You work when you want to work. You have the freedom to make as much money as you want to make. You travel when you want to travel. You wake up when you want to wake up. You take off when you want to take off. When you have that experience, which I consider to be free in this capitalistic society, you don't have a boss that you answer to. You don't have the request time off or PTO time or sick time or all this crap when you work a regular job, if you're fortunate to have that at your job. That type of freedom of being self-reliant, self-dependent, and you have it for a extended amount of time. I'm not talking about a few months, let's say some years. And if something happens with your business, in this case, the pandemic, we all know what happened with the pandemic. And all of a sudden, this lifestyle, this freedom, this independence that you enjoy gets taken away just like that. Goes away just like that because of this pandemic. You are forced to go back to survive, because you got to survive. You ain't got nobody you don't have no family that you can depend on. You don't have no friends you can depend on. You have to go back to the normie reality, working at a BS job. It's hard. It's so hard. And if you have been through this situation, you understand where I'm coming from. Because if you've never experienced this, if your whole life you worked at a job, a 9 to 5, where you had to clock in, where you had a boss, whatever, you won't know. But if you are a hustler, an entrepreneur, a self-made individual, and you got to experience what it feels like. The other day, I was talking to an acquaintance of mine. We talking about some business plans, right? In real estate. And I was telling him, like, of an idea that I had in real estate, like getting into the Airbnb business, but not here in California because it's so. The idea I had, the plan I had, is so expensive in California. You can't do it here. It's just you got to be a multi-millionaire to get in this real estate Airbnb business plan that I had. So we were talking about Georgia, because in Georgia, as opposed to California where we're both at, property's a lot cheaper, land's a lot cheaper, and you get more for your buck. You get more land for your buck, more bang for your buck. So we were talking about, getting into that, and he was like, well, we should take a trip down there. We should take a trip, about a 2-day trip to go check out, just drive around. And he's in a situation where he can do that because he drives Uber. So he's an independent contractor, and you can, if you drive Uber, you can turn the app on and turn it off whenever you want to work, right? You have the freedom to do that. So he was like, let's take 2 days off and go down there. Now, he knew me. He knew me because he's been knowing me for some years. He knew me at a time where I was free, and I was able to do that. I was able to go, like, oh yeah, let's go. Oh, you want to travel? Let's go. I just got to, let's go. But I guess it slipped his mind that I'm not free no more. I'm a wage slave. So I'm like, man, I can't just take days off like that. I got to ask permission, or else I'll lose my job. And he's like, oh yeah, you're right. But that just, when I got off the phone, that just made me think, like, damn, when we ended that phone call, and I'm sitting there thinking, like, damn, I'm really trapped. Like, I'm really trapped. I can't do nothing. I really can't make no moves because I got to maintain this job. And it can become depressing. You can get instantly depressed because you realize the situation. But you won't know. You can't miss what you never had. And so when I'm at my job and I see my coworkers around me, and they all looking content, they may be upset that they not making what they feel they should make, or not making enough to to really do anything, but they seem to be content with their job, in the sense like, I'm happy I got a job, right? And me having experienced what it feels like to be independent, what it feels like to not have to rely on no damn job, I'm walking around, I'm moseying around the job site, and I'm like, I'm looking miserable. I'm looking miserable, and I'm looking at my coworkers, and I'm like, why they don't feel, I'm kind of like looking at them like, why they don't feel like I feel? Like, y'all not miserable about this shit? Like, y'all not miserable that we got to come in and work all these hours, and we not making enough to really thrive, and we doing the same shit every day, nothing is different, nothing is changing? And I had to remind myself, no, Jay, they can't, because they can't miss what they never had. They can't miss what they never had. If they worked a 9-to-5 job their whole life, that's the only reality. That's the only reality that they know. They don't know what it's like to travel when you want to travel. They don't know what it's like to just get up and go and go when you want to go. They don't know what it's like to not have to clock in every day. They don't know what it's like to not be restricted in what you can make. They don't know that. So that's they can't miss that. They can't be miserable or miss something that they never had. And that's what I suffer from. I suffer from that every day because I'm like, I'm trapped. I'm trapped. I'm trapped in this gerbil wheel. I'm trapped in this gerbil wheel, and I can't get out of it. Like, it seems like there's no way to get out of it unless I voluntarily choose to be a homeless and live in a tent. You know, because that's the other option, right? If I don't want to clock in and I don't want to, you know, ask permission to get off, well, I could just choose to be homeless and go live in a tent. But who wants to, I mean, I don't know, because I've never done it. But it doesn't seem like a lifestyle that I want to live. Like, I lived in my car, and that was a little bit different when you live in your car because, you got shelter, right? And I was able to make that work, because I had my gym membership, so I would go to the gym to take workout and take my showers. I had my laundry mat. My car was big enough, so I was able to, put a little air mattress in my car so I could be comfortable. I had my cooler where I had all my snacks, so I made it comfortable. And I was able to move around, and I was able to, clean my ass and still have women. At that time, I would go on a dating site and I would meet women, and sometimes I would lay up with them, just to have a break from the car, But I've never lived in no tent. I've never been like really out there. So I'm like, nah, I can't do that. I'm in no position to do that anyway. But yeah, man, I mean, it makes sense now. You can't miss what you never had. You know what I'm saying? You can't miss what you never had. And if all you known is to work a job, to clock in and be a wage slave, it's hard. That's why you'll see hustlers and entrepreneurs, guys that may have been in the streets, when they go to the job, and sometimes it's hard because they miss that lifestyle, and the streets be calling them back like, man, forget this. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's hard to make that adjustment, especially if you've been doing it for a while. And I'm not talking about a few months. I'm talking about years. You dig? So with that being said, share this video. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. I will holler at y'all later. Peace.